Realty Transaction Manager is pretty comprehensive. However, it's built to be very user-friendly. We'll walk through the complete process in this training, but I'm sure you'll see that it's something you can quickly become familiar with. Let's add a new transaction. Mouse over and click on the Add a Transaction from the Transaction dropdown. A page will open where you can see several sections of information you can now begin filling out. The first field you'll want to add is the Agent ID. This dropdown will show all the agents active with your brokerage. When you click on the Save icon, your transaction will be assigned a consecutive ID number. If you'd like to change the beginning number, just let your account manager know. If you have your own system of assigning ID numbers, you can use the Brokerage Assigned section. For our example, we'll make this new transaction a listing. By doing so, the appropriate fields will now become available in the sections below. You have a section called User Defined Fields. In the Settings section, you can rename these to anything that you want to track. Parcel numbers, showing instructions, you name it, literally. Just below the property information, you'll see a label called Tags. Just like in the Campaign section, you'll use this field to add any labels that describe this transaction. Single family, short sale, rental, commercial, anything that will help you locate this transaction in the future. On the right column, you can see sections where you can add as many deadlines as you want to track. Each of these deadlines will appear in the calendar and the to-do list. Just below that, you'll see the Support Team section. The support team will consist of every person affiliated in any way with this transaction. Buyers, sellers, inspectors, escrow agents, assistants, everyone involved. When you add someone, you'll automatically be adding them to your contact database. Clicking on the icon just to the left of the name will show you some important information, such as phone numbers and clickable email links. Just below it, you'll see the Print button. Click this to print a list of all of the deadlines and the support team members. Use the Contract Review dropdown to see the contract review checklist you created as you set your system up. When you click on any of the labels, you'll see that a page opens where you can see all of the questions that make up that checklist. In our example, we'll act as though the agent missed some of the items so you can see what this process looks like. As you can now see, the system tells you that there are some problems with this document. This reminder will remain there until someone with administrator permissions changes the answers to yes. Once you've reviewed all of the documents that have been turned in, you can send an email to the agent with all of the responses that apply to the questions that received a no answer. Just click on the Send Email to Agent button. The system will open an email image so you can see exactly what was sent out. Adding transaction-related documents is a quick and simple process. Depending on the browser you use, you may be able to grab the files from your computer and drop them into the blue box. Just see if the box says Drop Files Here. Some browsers like Firefox will allow you to upload several files at a time. This can be a real time saver. If the box says Click here to upload, you'll need to click on the box to open a window to search your computer for the files to upload. Either way, uploading a file will save the PDF to our server where it will remain until you take it off. You can give your agent permission to upload transaction-related files themselves. They can do this through their Agent Access page. When they upload a document, that document will appear highlighted in your transaction. It will also appear in a link on the front page called Unapproved Paperwork. When you click this link, you'll be shown who uploaded it, when it was uploaded, and which transaction it applies to. Finally, you have a Journal Notes section where you can keep important information on this transaction. Your agent will be able to read and add notes themselves. If you have any private notes that are only meant to be seen by administrators, then use the General Notes section at the bottom of the page. You can come back to this transaction as often as you have new information to add, documents to upload, or when you need to change its status. You can find it several different ways. You can use the search dropdown to type in the transaction number or any other information such as the address or any of the tags that you've entered. You can also find this transaction by using the links in the transaction dropdowns. Here you can narrow down the list of transactions by using the search field. By adding a plus sign in between the search terms, you can focus this list down to the one that you need to find. When this file is ready to close, Realty Sync will make the process smooth and efficient. When you change the status to Under Contract, you'll find a Ready to Close section has been added at the end of the page. Before you're ready to close this transaction, you'll need to make sure that the information you've entered above is accurate. Some of it can't be altered once the file has been closed. In particular, you'll want to make sure that the contract price and the closing date are correct. When you're ready to move forward, enter the total amount of the commission available in the initial gross commission field. If necessary, you can give a breakdown of where the commission was received from. Below, you'll see the expenses that you set up when you added this agent to your system. If these expenses need to be modified, don't worry, you can do that in the next step. If everything is set, carry down the gross commission, click Save, then continue to closing. This is your closing page. In the first section, you'll see the breakdown of all of the expenses that have been paid by this agent since the date that you set in their settings page. The second section is where you'll see the expenses that are ready to be charged to this transaction. As you can see, there are a few icons next to each expense. If the expense does not apply to this transaction, you can delete it altogether from this transaction by clicking the red icon. If you want to modify this expense, change the amount, when it's charged, or even what it's called, then click on the blue icon. A box will open where you can make those changes. If the expense needs to be suspended and charged on the next closing instead of this one, then just uncheck the box next to that amount. Keep in mind that you can create new expenses altogether. You have complete control over the commission and all the charges that are placed against it. In the third section, you'll see how the commission will be calculated. If everything looks right, click Close. The page will refresh back to the transaction page. You can now see a link to your commission worksheet. Click this to see a summary of the transaction and a breakdown of the commission. You can provide this to your accounting department as a guide on creating the check, or use this as a check stub for your agent. Congratulations, you just closed your first transaction in the Realty Sync system. Now let me show you a few more things in your system that you'll find useful. Click on the calendar link. You'll see that the dates in your system have populated the calendar. If you want a closer look at any day's activities, click on the date. A page will open where you can see that day's events and even add some more. Your system comes with several helpful reports that can show you useful information with one click. Deadlines, support team members, even earnest money that you have on hand. Next, let's take a closer look at the Agent Access system. This tool will help your agent stay in touch with your brokerage and allow you to offer benefits and features that your competition doesn't. As you saw in an earlier lesson, you can create logins and assign permissions through the agent's contact page. Each agent in your office should have the agent permission checked to yes. This will allow them to view their Agent Access page. We'll spend the next few minutes going through the features of the Agent Access system and show you ways that you can help your agents increase their productivity with these broker-provided tools. The first thing the agent will see is your brokerage bulletin board. We call it Brokerage News. It's a great idea to post new and relevant information here as often as you can. Helping your agent develop the habit of looking here for information means less time on the phone for you repeating yourself. In the Brokerage Stuff section, there's an archive of all of the bulletins you previously posted. Just to the left, you'll see the to-do list. This is where all of the reminders you've created for the agents will appear. The pertinent dates for their transactions will show up here as well. Now you'll see a section called Brokerage Files. This section populates with the 10 most recent transactions attached to this agent. If the agent wants to see any details, they can just click the icon next to the status. When the transaction page opens, they'll see all the information the brokerage has on this file, including the contract review notes. Now your agent has a quick, simple way they can check on the status of their brokerage file without picking up the phone and taking time from you and your staff. If they want to see the documents that apply to this transaction, all they need to do is click to download. Turning in new forms to the brokerage is incredibly simple. They can drag and drop if they're using a premium browser like Firefox, or click to upload if they're using Explorer. Documents turned in this way go directly to the transaction in the broker's system. There the broker staff is notified that it still needs to be reviewed. Journal notes entered into the agent system will all show up into the broker's system. This is a great way to communicate back and forth with your agents. If your brokerage provides leads, now you have a great way to track that agent's performance throughout the transaction. Clicking on the lead allows the agent and broker to communicate through journal notes. You'll never have to wonder again if the leads you provide are getting the attention they deserve. Under the Brokerage Stuff heading, you'll see the link to the Resources Library. This is the perfect place to allow your agents access to public forums, company forums, order forms, checklists, stationery, presentations, even links to online training. Anything that your brokerage provides to your agents, you can store here. You can create these PDFs so they can be filled out right through this system. There's no better way to give your agents access to the things that will make them a better agent. Agent Access also has a links page. You can give your agents access to your preferred vendors through this page. Many of our brokerages prefer to charge their vendors to be included in this list. If you think that's a good idea, we have this set up so we can track the click-throughs for each of them, so you could create a pay-per-click program. A number of those brokerages actually make more with this feature than the entire Realty Sync system costs them. Whether you charge or not is completely up to you. Agent Access is included in your Realty Sync system for as many agents as your brokerage has. However, if your agents are looking for even more tools and more control over their information, they may want to consider Agent Access Premium. The premium version gives them more tools and features, such as a contact management system, drip campaigns, and a calendar, all similar to the ones included in your brokerage system. Our transaction management system will allow your agents to create websites for their clients. On this website, the clients will be reminded of deadlines, support team members, have access to all of their documents, and much more. The Agent Access Premium system is available for only $25 per subscription. The agent will be billed directly, so there's no liability for the brokerage. However, many brokerages who use Realty Sync have a few subscriptions they get to provide to their most valuable agents. This is a great way to increase loyalty and help with recruiting. Of course, there is no requirement that any of your agents upgrade to the premium system. Agent Access will always be available for all of your agents as a part of your subscription. One last thing. On every page of your brokerage system, you'll see a live help link on the right-hand side of the page. If you ever have a question or need some help, we're just a click away. Congratulations on making the choice to use Realty Sync to help you manage your brokerage. We look forward to offering you many years of service.